Hey y'all, it's Natalie for a cherry on top today, and I am using the new Pink Fresh Studio line called Simply the Best to create this layout about my sons. I'm showing you what papers I'm going to use. I'm going to use that one. It's called Just Chill. This one is called Happy Times, I think. And then I'm going to throw another one in there. Sorry, that one's called Have Fun. The other one I am going to use is called Happy Times. But first I'm going to do some mixed media. I have put clear gesso on this white cardstock kind of down there on the right hand side in a long column. I'm going to use my Distress Oxides to create a watercolor background. That is chipped sapphire. And I'm going to just dab it on the page and use my water and paintbrush to kind of move it around and make like a splash of watercolor. The colors that I'm going to be using they're all Distress Oxides by Tim Holtz, and they are chipped sapphire. That's a blueprint sketch. The lighter green is called peeled paint, and it's almost like a lime green, but not as garish maybe, but it matches perfectly with this collection. And then the last darker green is called Rustic Wilderness. So I like the way that the two blues are kind of combining together here. I'm just going to roll them around the paper a little bit and let them run into one another. I do kind of wish that I didn't completely dry it, because it would have been nice to run that blue into the green. As it is, the green kind of sits on top of the blue and it looks fine. But I also probably should have left a little bit more white space as well. But I haven't really done mixed media in a while, and I was kind of just getting carried away. I was having fun with the process. So I just turned my paper upside down to work better the top of my board here. And I'm just trying to make sure that I get all of the swipe marks from the pad. I don't want any of the hard edges to show. I did want the color to be a little darker, so I dab it on there again. And I just use my finger there to make that drip a little more pleasing to the eye, a little more organic. And so I'm going back in with the peeled paint, and for the first time with the peeled paint, and gonna blend it in there with that green, the Rustic Wilderness green. So you see, it's like a lime green, maybe an avocado is a good way to call it, especially those old appliances that were the avocado green. I think that's the perfect color to describe it with, or example. So I'm going to let all of that completely dry with a little help from my heat gun probably. And now I'm going to go in with a smaller brush once it's completely dry and add a bunch of splatters on top of the colors and the corresponding colors. The reason that I want it to completely dry before I start adding the splatters is that if it is still wet, the splatters will kind of dissolve or dissipate into the wet areas and they won't be noticeable. And I wanted them to be a noticeable darker shade of the color on top of which they sit. So I'm showing you, I'm going to follow that line of the diamonds up the side and kind of create a little zigzag cut out of the side of the paper. And that's going to go on the left-hand side of my mixed media page. What am I doing now? Let's see. So it's completely dry now with the splatter and all. Also adding water to Distress Oxides kind of changes the colors sometimes. So that's what you see going on, especially down there in the peeled paint section. Oh, but I did run the green from the Rustic Wilderness off the page, and so I decided I wanted the blue at the top to match that as well. So I added a little more chipped sapphire up there just to kind of, I don't know, have good balance and mimic the color at the bottom of the page. So that dries, and there we have it. Now we are actually done with the mixed media, and I'm going to go and add that Just Chill paper. There are the two photos. I was actually at the office on the day of the kids' yearbook photos and school photos this year, so I was very proud of my husband. He took them outside and sent me pictures. Oh, I've trained him so well. It only took 14 years and 5 years dating before that. But they look so cool, and they're in little outfits that I picked out for them, and it's a beautiful fall background here. I'm going to use this paper. I think, what did I say it was called? Happy Times paper, and it is this awesome color. It really matches the peeled paint color well, and it's the color of my oldest son's t-shirt in the photos. So I really liked the way that it helped bring out the photo as well as the mixed media. So off kind of screen here, I'm going to use my edge distresser, and I'm going to rough up the edges of those diamonds as well as the edge of the green paper to give it a nice rustic distressed look. And it's going to set right there. I'm going to use that other stripe paper called Have Fun paper. I'm just going to make like a skinny cut of it off the side and stick it down on the right hand side of the page. So bring the colors in over there. So my boys, they always joke and say that they're completely feral. And they're just like here for a good time. Always. They're wild. They are just constantly egging each other on. So I found this like little saying or phrase, and I was like, well, that's a perfect title. It's going to say, that's a horrible idea. What time? Because 100% that is something they would do. One of them would say, hey, let's do this bad thing. And they were like, no, we'll get in trouble. Let's do it. So I like to do snarky little pages about them like this sometimes. And I imagine that this will probably continue into their adulthood, if I had to guess. They're a fun group, man. I always joke that I live in a frat house. Oh, it's probably only going to get worse as they get older, actually. I actually used Puffy Alphas from a previous Pink Fresh collection. I'm not sure exactly which one, but they were the perfect green color. But I know that this collection also has some lovely green, like thicker type things. So I wanted to bring the crisp whites from the collection out into the page a little bit. So I'm just going and I add a little bit of my gesso and watered it down, and I'm going to add some splatters. And I do it all over the page. It does end up kind of blending into the mixed media background, but it shows up very nicely on the pattern paper. And I like how it brightens up the dark blue there on that left-hand paper especially. Scrappy Josephine, I'm not sure her last name, but Josephine, who is on the Pink Fresh Studio design team, is amazing. And I love all of her scrapbook pages. And they have a lot of card makers. And so I really love when they have scrapbookers to show how to use their products. And she always adds white splatters, and it always makes everything pop so lovely. So I backed both of the photos with some white cardstock. I am going to switch them back because of the negative space in the photos. They just fit the title better that direction than switch. And then I'm going to use some die cut ephemera from the Simply the Best collection to kind of fill in the middle there and then just embellish the rest of the page. All of this came, of course, from A Cherry on Top. You can find me on the blog there today as well with more details about these pages and all the photos. I'll put my affiliate link down below if you would like to go grab your own. This collection is all still in stock in the store, and it's so fabulous. Again, I always say this, but I love Pink Fresh Studios phrases. They always have the best phrasing and pretty unique, and then these colors are just fabulous, right? So I just kind of took my ephemera and I went through it, and I could easily rule out some things that I was not going to use. So then I made a little pile of the things that I would possibly use, and I'll go through that, and then I won't use all of it, but that just kind of like makes the decision process easier. I'm always cognizant of like too many words. I don't want too many words on a page. So I obviously have kind of a long title. And so a lot of the ephemera pieces have words. So I am going to be selective about what I use and how many I use. I really like a good collection that has a good combination between words and phrases, and then like just icons and things like that. And the cardstock stickers help with that because they have a lot of just labels and things to help layer. So these alphas are actually from the other Pink Fresh Studio collection that just released. I think it's called The Good Life. It's their autumn collection, and they're very tiny puffy alphas, and I like have a weak spot for those. And they have one side that are warm colors and one side that are cool colors. So that's what the came from. So I'm going to layer up that tag there in the middle that matches that lovely lime color with the things that say Friends for Life, because I thought that was so perfect for this page about these brothers who get into trouble together. And just a couple other little things. That one at the top says Just Chill. I'll probably say that to them a lot. I picked a couple of little banners at the bottom. It says, oh man, stay curious. A lot of times when they get in trouble, that's what they are. They're just curious, seeing what's gonna happen. Man, never a dull moment around here, I'll tell you what. I really loved layering that ephemera up on top of that label there in the middle, and kind of just adding that white splotch there to break up all the bright color. So definitely don't be afraid to layer up your stickers and your ephemera, because I feel like that brings lots of good interest and helps bring cohesion to the page, because you're bringing in the colors from other parts of the page to, yeah, bring cohesion. I guess I can't say it enough, right? Oh, and that little star was perfect green over there. I did pop up, so I popped up the photos on foam dots. I don't think I showed that part, and then I popped up that middle part that says Friends for Life on foam dots, so it can be kind of on the same level. So I have 3 things that are kind of popped up off the page. Now I'm going into the cardstock sticker sheet a little bit more. There are a couple of, typos on the sheet actually. So I am probably going to try to use my white gel pen there to kind of fill in the missing letters when I am ready to use those 2 stickers. There's like just 2 that I found. I know they've been having some of their supply chain issues with Pink Fresh, so I'm sure that's attributed to that. So the last thing I'm going to do is just add a few sequins. These are wood grain. They're white and gray wood grain, so I thought they would look really nice with the page. So I'm just going to add them around with my Nuvo adhesive. Like I said, I'm on the Cherry on Top blog today. I'll link down below to that, as well as my affiliate link if you would like to go grab this collection. Highly recommend it. I also have an unboxing a few videos back that you can go look at to see all of the collection and all of the papers that I'll show you what they all look like in that video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Bye, y'all.